What's on, ladies and gentlemen? My name's Ross, I like games, and today we need to look at half a dozen new Blue Digimon. We got a new level 6, but we've got a whole bunch of others as well. And now that the full set list for Double Diamond is out, it would be frankly rude of me if we didn't go through every single Digimon revealed. It's kind of what I do. So our translations here come from the lovely folks over at digimoncard.dev, along with any BT5 and BT6 translated proxies we might be using. And if we start off, we got a level 2 Chiaramon here. Now what we've got is one inheritable skill, as you might expect. On your turn, limited to once during your turn, when one of your opponent's Digivolution cards is trashed, you draw one card. I love this. I absolutely adore this. Because the fact of the matter is, trashing Digivolution cards is one of the things that we just see Blue doing. It is one of the things that Blue does more than anything else. So there are going to be like a billion cards you can choose from that will activate this skill. But obviously, we need to put this side by side with the Octamon from BT1, that when you attack once during your turn, if your opponent has any Digimon in play with no Digivolution cards, you draw one. The thing with Octamon is you've got to attack, so if you Digivolve and you don't want to attack, you're not powerful enough, whatever, you can't use this skill. And there will be times, basically, it's often times, not always, but often in your opponent's control. They can evolve so you can't do this. Whereas here, and okay, fine, there'll be decks like Rookie Rush and Megazoo, while there are no evolution cards, they're never evolving, so you can never get rid of them and activate it. But I think a lot of the time, Chiaramon is going to activate more. Obviously, look at your local metagame. If you think Octamon will fire more often, go for Octamon, but it's a Digitarmon that draws cards, and that is always a good thing. Now, Geysermon here, we've got a lovely level 3 we can have a little bit of a chat out, and I believe this is the first Geysermon we've ever seen. Very standard stat line of 3 cost to play, normally 0 cost to Digivolve, 2000 power. But we have an inheritable skill here. On your turn, while your opponent has no Digimon with Digivolution cards in play, you get an extra 2000 power. Now, we did see this on a previous ruling. So, Chiaramon here had an unsuspend skill if your opponent has no Digimon with any Digivolution cards, which is awesome, but this seems to be all of your opponent's Digimon must have no Digivolution cards, and I'm not sure how often that is going to fire, how easy that is going to be to work. Plus 2000 power on an inheritable skill is clearly great, and bearing in mind this is a Blue Digimon, we just don't see that from Blue Digimon. Like, there are no other Blue Digimon that'll give you plus 2000 as an inheritable skill. That's a lie. Galgamon from BT4 will if you have a Tamer in play. So I lied to you, sorry. And to be honest with you, Galgamon might fire more often, but Galgamon is also a level 5, not a level 3, so these are very much not the same kind of card. Although the skill is the same, I do have to make that quite clear. So a cool skill, if you think you can get it firing, yay! But I'm not sure how often you will be able to get it firing. You have been warned. Moving over into level 4s, we've got Octamon here, and this is a vanilla Digimon, so we can be kind of quick. 5 cost to play normally, 2 cost to Digivolve, 7000 power. It is in fact exactly the same as the Deltamon we looked at in red yesterday. And what I basically told you there was I don't like it. It's not cheap. We have other level 4s that we can play for the same cost. So the only thing we're hanging our hats on here is the fact that we've got 7000 power, which is your average level 5, but it still means when I attack the stack I get deleted by level 5s and level 6s and 7s if any are being played. So I still don't want to attack into the stack with this. And sure, I can attack some resting Digimon, but are you honestly telling me you can't find a better level 4 Blue Digimon? I don't like this, ladies and gentlemen. I don't really like it at all. Sorry. Now moving over into level 5s, we do have a couple of new options. We have got a Pangiamon. I assume that's the correct pronunciation. And here we've got a 5 cost to play normally, 3 cost to Digivolve, 6000 power. Now the evolution cost is normal, but the 5 cost to play is low. Like properly low, like Monzemon low. And incidentally, we've seen Monzemon see a whole bunch of play. This is on the same kind of level. Having said that, Monzemon is also a 2-cost to Digivolve, so Monzemon comes in cheap to play and cheap to Digivolve. Pangemon here is only cheap to play. That is a significant difference. But we have an inheritable skill here. When you are attacking, once during your turn, gain a memory. Okay. Cool. And honestly, this reminds me very much of another card that I am extremely fond of. To be honest, in terms of playability, probably my favourite card. It's Puppetmon! Because Puppetmon, like, it's not why we play Puppetmon. We play Puppetmon for the awesome skill that suspends and stops them unsuspending and all of that. But Puppetmon is actually, when you attack with it, you gain a memory. So you hard cast Puppetmon for the usual reasons. But then it's just sitting there on the field and you're like, oh, I can gain a memory every time I attack. That's kind of cool. That's what this skill is. And I actually really like it. Do I like it enough? We've got level 5 Zudamon, which is more expensive. When you play it, you draw 2 cards and it sees play for that. And there is an inheritable skill whereby if your opponent has any Digimon with no Digivolution cards in play, not all, just one, you get to gain a memory when you attack. And there is a strong argument for why we would want to play Zudamon over this. But Zudamon is really the only other option. We've got Pukumon. It's not the same, but Pukumon, when you trash a Digivolution card, you gain a memory as an inheritable skill. So that kind of works. And to be fair, we do have Metal Garurumon, but Metal Garurumon is a level 6, so you can only use it on a level 7, so it's not quite the same. So yeah, it's kind of cool. I like it. But we do have other Digimon here. We have other Digimon that will gain a memory. And maybe they're not all the same, and maybe you can't always use them. And as always, right, if you're looking at this and going, Wossy, fine, there are other Digimon, but I'm looking at those Digimon, and they ain't going to work in my deck, this one will, then that is a dead giveaway that you should be playing this Digimon. I do love the inheritable skill that gives you a memory, and I do love that it's cheap to play normally, but I think there is a strong argument that if you're playing this normally, you should pay the extra 2 memory, play Zudamon, and draw 2 cards. That is a significant benefit. But I can absolutely see this sneaking into some decks. There are some things to love about it. Now, there are other level 5s, or to be specific, exactly one other level 5. It is Dragomon here. Some big weird squid octopus thing. Now, 6 cost to play normally, 3 cost to Digivolve, 7,000 power. It's slightly cheap to play normally, but I don't think you ever would. And what we've got here is one skill. When you are Digivolving, return one of your opponent's level 4 or lower Digimon that has no Digivolution cards to its owner's hand. So you're starting to clear the board here a little bit. The problem is, this is your level 5, right? We've got good level 5s at this stage. We've got some level 5s with really good skills. We've got ones with really high power. You need to be good as a level 5 to get your way into a deck. And my problem with this card is that there's too much caveat here. It's only a level 3 or 4, nothing higher. And even then, it's got to be one with no Digivolution cards. And sure, there are plenty of blue cards, like I've said, that will remove Digivolution cards. But now we're pushing ourselves into that situation where we've got to remove all the Digivolution cards and then evolve into Dragomon, and then we get rid of a level 3 or 4. It's not exactly stunning now, is it? I'm sure there will be some decks that can make use of it. It's a decent enough skill, but we're in BT6 now, and just to be clear, as we get further in, we are going to see more and more redundant cards. Not every single card can be game-breaking. And when we're in earlier sets and we've got fewer choices, then yeah, more and more cards are going to seem really good by comparison. But we get to a stage eventually where we look at things like Dragomon and we go, it's fine, but I can't imagine ever actually playing it. But there is one new level 6 we need to have a little bit of a chat about here. It is Pukumon, and it's one of them. They're a puffer fish. But as a Digimon, is it any good? Well, 11-3-11 is your standard stats for a level 6. That is what we expect. There is nothing particularly going on here. But what we have here is one skill. During your main phase, Digiburst 2, that means trash 2 Digivolution cards. Your Digimon cannot be blocked by your opponent's Digimon this turn. Yes. Okay. That is worth playing. That is really, really worth playing. This is a game-winning skill. Now, if we think about Digiburst 2, a level 6, if you go all the way from an egg, you're going to have 4 Digivolution cards. Level 2, level 3, level 4, level 5. And that is extremely significant because that means 2 activations of this skill. So if you go from an egg all the way up to the level 6 Pukemon here, that gives you 2 turns where you cannot be blocked. And I've talked about this a lot, but when we're playing Digimon, we basically look at number of turns and number of attacks. You've got to take out 5 security and then attack once in order to win the game. But you can have extra security attack, your opponent can block, etc, etc. So as you're going through the game, and I do, and I'm assuming everybody else does, you're always having that internal count going on. How many attacks can I have? How many can they have? Essentially, how many attacks / turns until I win? How many attacks / turns until they win? And that will influence your decisions as to how many little Digimon you play, how many big Digimon you play, how many blockers you get out, etc. That's the way you go through the game. Now, Pukumon here completely throws that out the window, because for 2 entire turns, your opponent can't block you, which throws off the timing. And that is absolutely huge for me. I think this is a phenomenal, phenomenal card. I think this is a 5 Wossie card. And what I really love about this is not necessarily one you rush to get out. This is the kind of card you can chill for a bit. You can sit there chilling. And at some point, late in the game, you're going to hit that stage where you can win. And then you activate this. And if you activate this, and your opponent can't block, that is often going to end up winning. Now, again, you've got to time it right and blah, blah, blah. But this is exactly the kind of card that is going to end up ending games, because your opponent's like, well, I can block 3 times so they can't win. Oh, no. And then it's over, ladies and gentlemen. Then it's over. Speaking of which, it's over to you guys. I want to know what you think about all of this. So let me know in the comment section, would you? Go nuts. Be nice. And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at @TheWassie. That's where we talk Digimon and a whole bunch of other card games. And please do consider checking out patreon.com/PTCG Radio, where you can support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all kinds of fun things. But by far the most important thing is always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching Wossie Plays.